Okay, that's recording, but hang on, I have to turn my,
Okay. Good evening. Hopefully next week we'll have air conditioning
right?
as they continue to work on above us. Okay, I'd like to call to order the City Council regular session, June 5th, 2023 at 6 p.m. at the City Municipal Building, 101 North Main Street, Adams, Wisconsin. Would you please rise? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Brooke, would you take roll call, please?
Alderperson Grooms.
Here.
Cantu.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Murphy.
Here.
Heitman.
Here.
Mayor Juggenberg Klum.
Here.
Chief Woolen.
Here.
And Street Superintendent Kirstenmiller.
Here.
Okay. I need a motion to approve or correct the minutes for the regular session held on May 15th, 2023.
I'll make a motion, we correct or approve the minutes for the regular session held on May 15th.
I will second.
Any questions? Okay. Brooke?
Alderperson Grooms.
Yes.
Cantu.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Heitman.
Yes. Okay, petitions and communications, citizen comment. We've got a listing of 4 people tonight. We'll try to keep it kind of short because this is going to be one long meeting. So, Nadine, anytime you're ready, you can come up and talk to us.
Hi, I'm Nadine Ashworth. I live at 202 East Lake Street, Friendship. And for years, I started this years ago having the fireworks. And now it's gotten pretty big. And I appreciate the police department, the fire department, everybody's involved. But it's gotten to the point where it's gotten so big that we need help. We've had the last 5-6 years, we've had some bigger donations and that's helped, but I had hoped eventually, I didn't think it'd be this long that I was doing it, but I had hoped, like the city and the village would come together and promote this or help out somehow, because I think you can attest to, Officer Woolen can attest to how big it has gotten. And I don't want to give it up. I really don't. I don't know where we would have it if I didn't have it at my house, but, so I'm asking on behalf of myself, the Lake Association, Ace Hardware, and the bigger sponsors, that we need some help to do this. So I'm asking for whatever you deem appropriate. And if you have any questions, I could answer, what it involves. Because I don't think people realize how we go about this every year. So if you have any questions.
Are you looking for assistance in terms of finance or?
Finance, yes.
Nadine, have you ordered the fireworks already?
I have. In fact, he just called me today. He said the warehouse up there, I get them from Lenny Hammond in Merrill.
Okay.
He works part-time for this company. And so he says, you have to get them, and I give him an amount. The last 3 years we've stayed with that amount because it is what he gives us a great deal, and it lasts 45 minutes to an
For
hour.
the amount?
6,500 for just the fireworks. And then we pay him. I used to always pay him, but last year was the first year that we set the amount to also pay him. And I have to, usually I don't pick them up until the week before, but because of our order and other big orders, and he wanted to get the best selection, so he's ordered them, and I need to pick them up actually next week. So, any other questions? And I know some of you have seen it, so you can attest to what it involves.
Okay, if you want to hold off till item 1 on our general discussion, you'll find out what will happen tonight.
Okay, okay.
I do just have one more question.
Yep.
I know you said the total was 6,500, and I know you said you had some other sponsors like ACE and the Lake Association. How much out of that 6,500 are you needing to cover still?
2,500.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next one on the docket is Heather, and I don't see her. So,
I didn't hear that she wasn't.
okay, so we'll just move on to the next one, and if she shows up, we'll give her a little time maybe at the end. Okay, the next one was Wendy Delvis. She's not here tonight, but she sent us an email. Okay. She said, "Hi, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Wendy Delvis, and I organized the first annual wine walk. I'd like to thank all of you for allowing us to have that day. It went absolutely perfect and without any incidences. It was so great to see so much activity throughout the city. My hope is to have this walk annually." So that's the message that she was sending to us. Okay. All right, moving on. Julie, you got,
No? Okay,
Julie.
yeah, no, I do have something to say.
yeah, you ready to talk about the splash pad?
Splash pad, yes. I was watching the meeting, as I usually do, about the splash pad, which, that I saw that the county administrator came and gave you guys a presentation about ARPA funds. I am for the splash pad, as long as we can get grants and community buy-in for the initial investment. I know a lot was being brought up about Burt Morris funds. And according to your minutes on February 6th, 2023, you sold the Rome property, which I believe was a little bit over $1 million. My wish is, or my hope is, that you invest that money so that you get a perpetual amount of money to take care of the parks for forever. And I was looking at your minutes and I was trying to figure out what was being done with the Burt Morris money. And I know right now you can get a CD or whatever for about 5%, which would take up most of the upkeep for the Burt Morris, I would hope. Unfortunately, the TIF money expires as September, like Joe asked about. And I hope that we utilize the tremendous gift from Burt Morris for many years to come. And my other thing that I wanted to say is that once you figure out how to pay for the splash pad, the placement of the splash pad. Jason knows this. Burt Morris Park in the area right there is horrible when it comes to drainage. So maybe you can kill two birds with one stone if you would put the splash pad where the tennis courts are currently. And maybe, because from what I understand, you guys were talking about the drain away option, and I think that would help out. One, you wouldn't have to cut down any trees, which I think with drainage, I always think that the more trees you can have, the better. Two, the lighting and the facilities, bathrooms are closed. So, those were the only things I needed to say. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to the reports of the standing committees. We're gonna start with finance, Mr. Booth.
Yep, so most recently, we took some proposals from insurance. And those were, we got a lot to go over with that. Prior to that, I didn't have a chance to report on the last meeting, finance meeting prior to that. I don't believe I did. I believe that was some tree items we talked about that meeting. I think that was everything of significance.
We missed the civic system.
Yeah. Jason's software system for budget.
Dashboard, yeah.
Yeah. So that's really all I have to report on.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to policy and procedure, Mr. Murphy.
Yes, so we met May 31st, talking with Brooke. There's obviously a lot of policies and procedures we need to clean up, but this meeting dealt with amending the refuse disposal and collection ordinance based on Adams, the city of Adams, if we were to do this. So I think Brooke attached changes to the minutes of what we talked about, and then the second item that was discussed at that meeting was the recommendation relating to the special purpose district for the fire district, ordinance 13-1-32.
That one needs to be published. We need to publish that before we here.
The reviews.
No, the fire district.
Fire
The
district,
fire
okay.
district, we need to publish before we can.
Yeah, yes, correct.
Okay, so
Thank you.
that's where we are with that.
That's where everything is.
Okay.
I think then that should be it for policy procedure meeting.
Thank you. Okay, reports of the city officers. Okay, I get to start. I attended the VFW car show and the 75th anniversary celebration for the Rush Creek State Park. They were both well attended. I enjoyed both of them. It was a little bit warm at the car show, but it was beautiful in the park. They are such wonderful ways to enjoy Adams and Adams County. You know, thank you to all both of those groups for those activities. Okay, moving on. Chief, your turn.
Well, for the month of May, we had 249 calls for service in the city, 40 traffic warnings, 27 citations, 6 municipal citations, and 3 crashes. I was able to participate in West Rock Safety Days again and present at their safety day for the active shooter presentation. We also had our in-service day with Rome, so I had a legal update from the district attorney's office, and also were able to meet with the judges to present on warrants and injunctions. And then we had our, what we call as a DAT, our defense and arrest tactics refresher. So we were able to utilize the space downstairs for that. The rest of it we moved over to the courthouse because of what's going on here. So I mentioned before about some squad repairs. The Dodge is back in service. Those repairs were covered under warranty. And the Ford is back in service, and that was not covered under warranty, but was under $500. I don't think I have anything else unless you have any other questions.
Thank you. Okay. Superintendent Kirsenmar?
Yeah, I just want to continue to bring it to everybody's attention in regards to the brush pickup policy. I did, in our compost site that we have at the Public Works building, I found trees with large logs dumped in there this last week. Don't know when they're coming in or not. That's not the intention of it. That's not what we're supposed to be allowed to take in per the DNR. The DNR does regulate what we can and can't take. The city will get fined if it is not utilizing that space properly. If you have large trees that you need to dispose of, you need to make arrangements to get rid of those. Brush pickup is for the trimming of lower branches or a storm that blows through, or cleaning up your yard and stuff like that. It's not for site removal, tree removal. It's not what we are authorized to be doing. Again, I'm driving around the city and taking pictures of brush piles of branches 12 feet long piled up, just in a mess. They need to be in 4 to 6 foot lengths, no more than 3 inches around, stacked off the road, away from poles and cars and mailboxes. We will pick up brush, we'll go out every Monday, or the 3rd Monday of every month, and we'll make a complete lap around the city. It looks like there's been brush out there for 2 months. I mean, we picked up brush and then it's the next day. So we're asking people to leave that stuff until the weekend before or something. I get there's times when you're doing cleanup, but it's been out there a long time. Another issue we have is mowing and grass clippings that are in the center of the road, which ends up in our drainage systems, that clogs up our drainage systems, which then doesn't allow water to drain freely throughout the city. It's actually against our ordinance. We have an ordinance in place that says that is not allowed. I get when you're mowing, it happens, blow it back into the yard. The other issue we have, again, is Burt Morris bathrooms. I myself personally was there for an hour and a half on Friday, scraping, cleaning, hosing down. It's getting to the point where if the vandalism continues, I'm going to suggest those bathrooms are shut and only open for special purposes. I mean, because it's disgusting. It's not called for, and it's becoming more and more consistent with what's going on there. On the bright side, the flowers have been watered and look nice on Main Street. So we're keeping those alive in this drought. So continue to do that. Actually, we made some adjustments to the flower pots suggested by some people to bring the pots up higher. So that was done. We have also gotten a trailer back from Wisconsin Rural Water Association, which we are members of, so we get to utilize that for free. We can pull that around. We've been utilizing that all this week and part of last week, where it allows us to clean out all the valves because sand builds up in those valves. So we're able to have pressure washer with a vacuum on a trailer and go around and clean those valves. So we're going to get as much use out of that as we can this time around, and hopefully still get it again this fall. Still, we don't have a sweeper. I had the county come in and sweep for 2 days 2 weeks ago, and I have pictures that I'll share at Public Works, so I just haven't downloaded them yet. The amount of sand that is in our curb line that shows the importance of a sweeper. It's quite impressive, the amount of sand that's in there that ends up in our drainage systems and in our lakes and streams. So obviously I need to continue working on getting that sweeper purchase grant going. We had ordered the pump for that one lift station that had failed here a month ago. That's still on order. It was like a 26-week or something. It was a crazy lead time. We've had another one that I'm looking into now. So it's the age of all this equipment. It's all at that end of life. So I have some evaluations to do on all of them after I get these up and running. But so far, so good. We're still moving. Other than that, anybody got any questions?
Hey, what about the line painting? Are we gonna get it for the 4th of July?
The line painting,
Yeah.
so that was brought up last year. I don't have a line painter, so I have to schedule that with Friendship, which I'm working on right now.
Thank you.
Our line painter, the engine went on it last year.
Not,
So-
not fixable?
At a third of the cost of a new one. So, and we've put 2 pumps in it since I've been here, so we're at that point where you're spending the money, you need to evaluate whether you should just purchase a new one. I'm able to get Friendships, I just have to get the timing down with that. And then also update on the roof project, the general contractor or the foreman that oversees that, Bill Snow, will be here tomorrow. They gravelled the large section today. They're going to tear out the small section and do that, which would be back here. So then this front section should just need the metal siding and then the small section. So I know they've been indoor working. I haven't gotten an update on where they're at on the inside things, but hopefully here by the end of the week, they should be able to turn some AC on, probably in this section up here. But I'll have a further update on that tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Brooke, you got anything?
Other than just surviving the roof project. When that, it's a lot hotter in my office than it is in the office.
Tried to put in a skylight for her.
Okay, moving on to general business. Number 1, discussion and possible action for the donation to Ashworth's 4th of July fireworks on Friendship Lake.
I have a question for Brooke. You submitted with this that the donation in the past has come out of the office supplies, which includes our phone bill. Do you know where, I see that last time we made a donation, we were over budget in this account. Do you know where we are today with
Yeah, I
this
gave
account?
that amount to the
Yeah,
end.
as far as right now, we've spent $261.78.
Okay,
Okay,
so we're almost halfway through the year and we've done that.
yeah. So what do you think?
Is there any other expenses that we're kind of anticipating for this line item? I mean, other than the phone bill and stuff like that?
I'd have to look at what I put the recurring ones in there, but I'm not sure where some of the other one-offs, you know, I should have provided examples of the one-offs in the past. I'd have to look to see if once we started comparing last year and prior years, once we started this server conversion, if that's where we had to put some of that expense.
So we really don't have an idea of how much we can contribute?
I know that that was the recurring, but not everything, when a Solaris bill comes in, not everything is expensible to council. So if they're working on something that's strictly for the police department
I see.
or, so I don't, without knowing where they are in completion, I'm not sure what else they're gonna bill us for.
Does it have to come out of this line item? Can we reappropriate this somehow?
It comes out of our budget because we were the ones that said, hey, but that sounds like a terrific idea. That's why it was coming out of this line item.
Yeah, and that's fine. The rhyme or reason for the initial reason to do it is fine. But going forward, would we be able to put this expense to a different line item so it doesn't come out of the council office supplies?
I would think that would be something that for 2024's budget.
Right, no, yes.
You could definitely examine as to where you want your contribution to be.
I mean, I'm all for doing it. I would really like to have a solid idea of what we have and what we're expecting to come out of this line item before we toss a number out.
I'm just literally at the mercy of whatever, however Solaris shifts to what they're working on. So I don't feel that I can give X number of dollars is going to be council.
Was there $500 somewhere else that you could put into this budget
That-
and utilize.
That's kind of what I was trying to get
I
at.
mean,
From
there's a
Public Works.
lot of different areas to look from. I know that you don't want to be doing that all the time, but if it was necessary, is there somewhere else that there's a possibility?
And just throwing ideas, this is something that we could potentially pull from the Burke Morris campus.
No.
Because it's a recreational thing.
No, this is our idea, this is the council's idea, we did not go and ask people. This is the council's money to be spent the way we kind of want to, that's why it's coming out of this item. So if we are going to give this money, it has to stay in this for now. Unless we're going to be making a special new category.
Right, which
Because
is,
we don't have anything that we have for donations to some kind of cause. As a group, do you think the money would be worth giving to them?
It's not, that, to me, that's not the question. And that's a really,
But that,
but no, I don't think that that's the question, because it is without a doubt worth the money. Without a doubt, it's worth the money. But where is it, what's the right amount? That's what I'm sitting here thinking, is what's the right amount to give so that we're not over budget significantly, but yet we're supporting the great cause? That, I think, is the question.
I think we can swing another $500 donation.
Yeah, I'd like to give more, but if that's all we can feel safe in doing,
I'd like to give more, but I
Right.
think $500 is well within what we will probably have available.
then I need a motion.
I'll make a motion for a $500 donation to the Ashworth's 4th of July fireworks on Friendship Lake.
I'll second it. Any more discussion? Brooke, take the vote.
Alderperson Cantu,
yes,
Scott,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Pipeman,
yes.
Rooms.
Yes.
Okay. Item number 2, discussion and possible action on the waiving the park fee for Lions Park, Adams County Chamber of Commerce. August 4th, 10 to 5, and August 5th, 10 to 5 sidewalk days.
We don't know how many people are going to be using the park. And is it, which park is it?
It's Lions Park.
It's the Lions Park.
I assume it's the same as it's always been.
It's the same as last year. The people are coming, they're coming in. However it was set up, it'll probably be the same.
is the chamber a nonprofit?
Yes, I
They are,
believe so.
okay.
And they're part of it, they're part of the chamber. So,
What is the fee? It's 25.
No, it would be $100 per day, wouldn't it? Plus the $50 deposit,
It
because they're
depends
not
if you're local
considered a
or-
resident.
What's
That's not a resident.
yep.
100, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, if we waive the fee, the deposit is still,
If you, that's the way it's been done previously.
This is what happened before.
okay. I'll make a motion to approve the parks application for sidewalks days on August 4th and 5th.
Waiving the fee.
I will waive the fee, but I would like the deposit still made just in case. The refundable still.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Brooke, take the vote, please.
Alderperson Scott,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Pipeman,
Yes.
Grooms,
Yes.
Cantu,
Yes.
Okay, item number 3. Because of last meeting that it was a presentation and not part of a decision-making group, we need to come back to this, and we're gonna I needed a restatement to bring us into compliance from the actions from the 5:15 meeting, okay? And this will bring us into compliance that we're following the rules that we've set up. I need the motion to allow Cynthia Hager to ask for ARPA funds to proceed with the splash pad fund, with the splash pads funds. This would be exactly the same reading as it was last time, except this one would be the official one. So I need someone to.
I will make that motion as you just read it.
Seconded.
Okay,
Alderperson Murphy,
Yes.
Pipeman,
Yes.
Grooms,
Yes.
Cantu,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
okay. Now, the next part is going to be the liquor licenses. Okay. Okay, discussion and possible action on the authorization and issuance of fermented malt liquor and intoxicated liquor licenses, wine licenses, cigarette licenses, flea market license, and temporary special picnic Class B license. Okay, first one is, I need a motion to accept this. The A beer, the mini market from La Lorne. I need a motion and a second, please.
I'll make the motion.
I second.
Okay. Brooke?
Are you gonna do them all individually?
That's what I was asking.
Just do them as a list.
I was gonna ask for a statement of motion.
Okay.
Do them all together?
Perfect.
No, I mean, what was the motion?
The motion was to accept the mini market,
So just one?
that's that one, and then we go into the next one, which is liquor and beer, okay? And
So is that, do you want me to take roll call, is that what you're, or are you going on?
let's take roll call for that one, and then we've got the next 4,
Okay,
and they're all the same, so we'll just do it that way,
Okay.
okay?
so Alderperson Heitman,
Yes.
Grooms,
Yes.
Cantu,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Okay, the next one is the liquor and beer license type A for the liquor and beer for Highway 13 liquor and beer, liquor and cheese, excuse me. Senex Pump 24, Quick Trip 774, and Adams County Market Pine Line LLC.
I'll make that motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Okay, Brooke?
Alderperson Grooms,
Yes.
Cantu,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Heitman.
Yes.
Okay, now to the next one, license type beer, B license for beer, Jack Pine Saloon, VFW Post 6279, and 5 o'clock somewhere.
Is Rain's Tavern not on this, Mayor?
I'm gonna talk about that.
Oh, I'm sorry. So,
You want to talk about it before we make the motion?
No, I'm just looking at Jack Pine, VFW, and 5 o'clock.
I'll make that motion.
I need a second.
I'll second. I do have one question though. Sam? I know last time we went through these last year, there were some questions about about Jack Pine. Are we all good on all of these now?
Because it's under her.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, yep, all good.
I have the same question, so thank you for asking.
Okay.
seconded.
Sorry,
Okay. Go ahead.
okay, Alderperson Cantu,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Pipeman,
Yes.
Grooms.
Yes.
We're gonna table Ranks Tavern for now. We'll take a look at that next time.
So we mean they're not getting their license then?
Right now, we're tabling the request.
Is there a
Okay.
motion for that?
I need to have it tabled.
What?
Based on some paperwork problems.
I guess I would suggest this being sent out in our minutes then ahead of time.
It's just happened, like,
Could we not have been notified a little bit beforehand so we can kind of have an idea why we're
yes, I
doing it?
apologize for that.
Okay.
So I guess what does that mean? Does that mean they don't have a license then?
No, we're just tabling it until,
The paperwork to be
paperwork
on this
is all
renewal
fixed.
is not correct.
Okay, okay, that's,
otherwise we would be denied.
well, right, but I think it would have been just easy to say that paperwork hasn't been correct, so that's why we're tabling it.
Yeah.
Just instead of just saying we're tabling it, you
Okay.
need an explanation. So that's all, I think we're looking for some
So I need a
clarification.
motion table.
I'll make a motion, we table Ranks Tavern until proper paperwork.
Thank you.
Second,
I second that motion.
do we need a vote?
Alderperson Heitman,
Yes.
Grooms,
Yes.
Cantu,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Okay, then we've got two more. One is the license type C for wine from Bucky's Pizza.
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
Brooke?
Alderperson Grooms,
Yes.
Cantu,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Heitman.
Yes.
And the last one is the special picnic, the 4th of July celebration with the VFW.
There's one more on the next page.
I'll make motions to approve the special picnic license for the VFW for the parade, the July 4th parade.
I'll second it.
Alderperson Cantu?
Yes.
Sorry. Did you want me to take the roll?
Yeah.
Alderperson Cantu,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Heitman,
Yes.
Grooms.
Yes.
Okay, what's the last one that I missed?
Ace
Class
of Adams.
Class A liquor, Ace.
Oh, excuse me. I need a motion for that one.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Brooke?
Alderperson Scott,
Yes.
Murphy,
Yes.
Heitman,
Yes.
Grooms,
Yes.
Cantu.
Yes.
Okay. Discussion and possible action related to the ordinance amending refuse disposal and collection, first reading.
In the last agenda item, weren't we supposed to talk about the flea market license?
Or is that just
Oh.
a general?
No, she didn't. I tried to put those in the order. Yes, thank you. That was second to the last. Okay. Yes, thank you.
And I didn't have it on my list.
It was a separate, that was just liquor license.
Okay. Okay.
Then we also need to discuss cigarette license as well.
Thank you. Yes, cigarette license as well.
I need a motion to accept the flea market license and the cigarette licenses.
I'll make a motion, we approve the license for the flea market and for cigarette license.
Need a second?
Alderperson Murphy,
Yes.
Pittman,
Yeah,
Grooms,
Yes.
Cantu,
Yes, I wish this would have been separated.
on agenda items.
But a motion to approve the tobacco product, the licenses, and then the flea market license, separate.
I don't even see the flea market.
It's,
It was right before,
But my vote is yes.
Scott.
Yes.
it's on page 33.
Okay. Number 5, reading of the amended refuse disposal and collection. Health and sanitation, chapter 1, health and sanitation, chapter 2, pollution abatement, chapter 3, refuse, recycling, disposal, and collection, chapter 3, refuse, recycling, disposal, and collection. 831, title, 832, declaration of policy, 833, residential units, 834, industrial and commercial establishments, 835, definitions, 836, collection of refuse, 837, garbage accumulation when a nuisance, 838, refuse for outside the municipality, 839, improper use of trash receptacles, 8310, mandatory recycling. Section 831, title, this chapter shall be known as the Refuse, Recycling, Disposal, and Collection Ordinance of the City of Adams, whereinafter referred to as this ordinance or chapter. 832, declaration of policy. It is hereby declared to be the purpose and intent of this chapter to enhance and improve the environment and promote the health, safety, and welfare of the city by establishing minimum standards for the storage, collection, transport, processing, separation, recovery, and disposal of solid waste. Section 833, residential units. For the purpose of this chapter, all refuse recycling produced by residential units in the city of Adams shall be collected and disposed of by any independent hauler under contract with the city of Adams to provide such services. Section 834, industrial and commercial establishments. For the purpose of this chapter, all collection and disposal of refuse, recycling, and other solid waste produced by industrial and commercial establishments are the responsibility of the business owner manager. Section 835, definitions. For the purpose of this chapter, the following words and phrases shall have the meanings given herein, unless different meanings are clearly indicated by the context. A, agriculture establishment, an establishment engaged in the rearing and slaughtering of animals and the processing of animal products or orchards and field crops. B, bulk waste, items whose large size precludes or complicates their handling by normal collection, processing, or disposal methods. C, commercial unit. Commercial units shall be all properties other than residential units and shall include boarding houses, motels, resorts, tax-exempt, churches, group homes, assisted living, home-based businesses, and short-term rentals, example, VRBO and Airbnbs. D, curb, the back edge of the curb and gutter along a paved street, or where one would be if the street was paved and had curb and gutter. E, demolition wastes, that portion of solid waste consisting of waste for the repair, remodeling, or reconstruction of buildings, such as lumber, roofing, and sheathing scraps, rubble, broken cement, broken concrete, asphalt and plaster, conduit, pipe, wire, insulation, and any other material resulting from the demolition of buildings and improvements. F, disposal, the orderly process of discarding useless or unwanted materials. G, DNR, the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. H, dump, a land site where solid waste is disposed of in a manner that does not protect the environment. I, dwelling unit, a place of habitation occupied by a normal single-family unit intended to provide quiet, pleasant, and relatively spacious living areas. Single-family dwellings with one private garage for each residential parcel and/or accessory buildings. To be considered for the purpose of this chapter. J, garbage, includes every refuse accumulation of animal, fruit, or vegetable matter, liquid or otherwise, that attends the preparation, use, cooking, dealing with, or storing of meat, fish, fowl, fruit, or vegetables originally used for foodstuffs. K, hazardous waste. Those wastes, such as toxic, radioactive, or pathogenic substances which require special handling to avoid illness or injury to persons or damage to property and the environment. L, industrial waste. Waste material, except garbage, rubbish, and refuse, directly or indirectly resulting from an industrial processing or manufacturing option. M, litter, solid waste scattered about in a careless manner, usually rubbish. N, non-residential solid waste from agricultural, commercial, industrial, or institutional activities, or building or group of buildings consisting of 4 or more dwelling units. O, person, individuals, firms, corporations, and associations, and includes the plural as well as the singular. P, private collection services provided by a person licensed to do same by the DNR. Q, recyclable waste, waste material that can be remanufactured into usable products and shall include by way of enumeration, but not by way of limitations, glass, plastic, newspapers, cardboard, metal, aluminum, steel, tin, brass, etc. R, refuse, includes all waste materials including garbage, rubbish, and industrial waste, and shall by way of enumeration but not by way of limitations include grass, leaves, sticks, tree branches, and logs, stumps, stone, concrete, boards, furniture or household appliances, garden debris. Yes, residential solid waste, all solid waste that normally originates in a residential environment from residential dwelling units. T, residential unit. Residential unit shall mean all property which has located thereon one of the following: 1, a single-family dwelling; 2, a multi-family dwelling having 3 or less dwelling units. Residential units shall not include boarding houses, motels, or resorts. U, rubbish, includes combustible and non-combustible waste materials except rocks, concrete, bricks, and similar solid material, plaster, or dirt that is incidental to the operation of the building and shall include by way of enumeration but not by way of limitations tin cans, bottles, rags, paper, cardboard, sweepings. V, scavenging, the uncontrolled removal of material at any point in solid waste management. W, solid waste, garbage, rubbish, and other useless, unwanted, or discarded materials that from agricultural, residential, commercial, industrial, or institutional activities. Solid waste does not include solid or dissolved material in domestic sewage. X, storage, the interim containment of solid waste in an approved manner by generation and prior to collection and ultimate disposal. Y, storage areas where persons place containers during non-collectible days, as well as areas where containers are set out on collection days. 8, refuse recycling guidelines. Occupants and/or owners responsible to checking guidelines of an independent hauler under contract with the City of Adams providing refuse recycling services applies for the following sections. Section 836, collection of refuse. A, restriction on time of placement. 1, approved containers for refuse recycling shall be placed in a collection location no later than 6 a.m. but no more than 24 hours in advance of regular collection time, with lid facing toward the street side alleyway. 2, all approved containers for refuse recycling shall be removed from the curbside collection point within 24 hours after the regular collection time. Section 837, garbage accumulation, when a nuisance. The accumulation of the accumulation or deposit of garbage, trash, or putrescible animal or vegetable matter in or upon a lot or land or any public or private place within the city which causes the air or environment to become noxious or offensive, or to be in such a condition as to promote the breeding of flies, mosquitoes, or other insects, or to provide a habitat or breeding place for rodents or other animals, or which otherwise become injurious to the public health and is prohibited and declared to constitute a nuisance. Section 838. Refuse from outside the municipality. It is unlawful for any person, firm, or corporation to place, deposit, or cause to be deposited for collection any waste or refuse not generated within the corporate limits of the City of Adams. Section 839, improper use of trash receptacles. No person shall place in or on any refuse or recycling cart not belonging to or assigned by owner of such receptacle to such person any garbage, refuse, or trash without the permission of the owner or designated assignee of such receptacle unless such receptacle is designated expressly or implicitly for use by the general public. Section 8310, mandatory recycling. Purpose. The purpose of this ordinance is to promote recycling and resource recovery through the administration of an effective program as provided in Section 159.11 Wisconsin statutes and Chapter NR 544 Wisconsin Administrative Code. In accordance with the rules and regulations of the state of Wisconsin, the Adams County has mandated that certain materials be separated and removed from residential refuse to be disposed of at the county landfill. Adams County is the responsible unit as defined by 287.019 and 287.09 Wisconsin statutes, and as such is responsible for the establishment of an effective solid waste recycling program for the county. The city is part of the county responsible unit for such solid waste recycling program. State law reference section 62.11 of the Wisconsin statutes. That's the way it reads as now. I would like to suggest that when we go back, we take a look at some of those definitions and see if those definitions are necessary for this section.
I did see a few that could now. I don't remember if we looked at them in committee or at the time thought that they applied not getting to the recycling. But yes, I think some of them don't agree. So after the policy and procedure meeting and me updating everything, I sent this over to Rebecca to review it. Number one, to make sure that I was putting the proper wording of this ordinance change amendment. And so she got back to me this morning with some amendments that, or some changes that she recommended. There was, I guess I was gonna start at what you guys got if you wanted to follow along. It's not until we get to section 8-3-5 definitions. Her suggestion was to remove churches and state it as tax exempt entities. Section I in that same definition, for a dwelling unit, just, okay, sorry.
Just throw one backwards.
I can't tell you what page it's on because
No, 8-3-5.
Yep.
And what was the first
commercial
one?
unit. Calling it tax exempt entities and then getting rid of churches to be all encompassing.
So no comment between exempt and churches. Okay. Tax
Correct,
exempt.
get rid of the word churches and then just say entities instead of being,
And then maybe
6 on one, maybe half a dozen in the other. Whether you list them both or list one to encompass it all.
I think we're just trying to avoid talking about churches.
number I, dwelling unit. It didn't, she just suggested saying, a dwelling unit shall be all single-family dwellings as a place of habitation occupied by a normal single-family unit, comma, intended to provide quiet, pleasant, and relatively spacious living with one private garage for each residential parcel and or accessory building or buildings.
So it's basically what we have, just in a more condensed way.
Yes.
Just use the same words, just in a different
Order,
manner.
yep.
I'm pretty sure we just took these definitions from other communities and kind of combined them into
This-
one.
Particular one we used our zoning ordinance.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the next one?
The other one was, at the end of the definition section where it says refuse recycling guidelines. Her suggestion was to make that 8.3.6 and list owner and or occupants are responsible for reviewing and following the guidelines of independent hauler under contract with the City of Adams, providing refuse and recycling services. And then in combination with that, making collection of refuse, I don't know if it would be A or 1 or, but then collection of refuse and then putting restriction on time of placement. The bullet points 2 pages back after all of the redactions.
You haven't sent those out yet, those suggestions, correct?
Nope,
You
because
just
they were
have-
after this first
Yep.
one, it came after the first reading as a suggestion between the first and the second reading.
I think if you send those out, we'd be able to look at them compared to what we have, and, because she was just suggesting some condensing, nothing that was like, you have to do this, otherwise you're gonna be,
No,
you know.
just in the way she was reviewing it, in how loopholes could be found, that would be a better way to state that. Yeah,
No,
lack
I
of a
mean, I
better
just-
word.
from
She's
you-
an attorney, she's gonna think that way.
Right. And then just that the last one was in section 8-3-10, mandatory recycling. Just that it was just some housekeeping, calling it rules and regulations, plural. And then getting rid of the in front of Adams County in that same sentence. To be specific to putting Adams County, just being consistent, that if the word county is there, we put Adams.
I don't remember that whole sentence, actually.
That was the sentence that we agreed was coming out of the contract that we signed.
I remember Adams County as a responsible unit as defined, that part of it, I just don't remember that other wording.
But then that last sentence where it says the city is part of, the county's responsible unit for such solid waste
Yeah.
recycling program to just say the city of Adams and all of its residents are part of Adams County. Adams County is responsible unit for solid waste management, solid waste recycling program.
Wouldn't it be easier to kind of repeat that the city contracts with the county instead of?
Yeah, that's why I was concerned, is it, because we're not picking up commercial recycling. So they're on their own to pick it up. There's nothing that says that they have to take it to the county for recycling, but this is saying they have to. So say, I don't know, Hartnell's, LRS, somebody comes to town and they wanna pick up West Rocks and somebody else's recycling and haul it to a different recycling center. That's where that wording of that sentence is.
How did we not catch that then in policy and procedure, because that was.
That's why I'm saying I don't remember that. That's why
And I guess I
I'm
only
not
asked
saying that
because.
it wasn't there, I just don't remember it, and now reading it again, it says, be separated and removed from residential. See, this is residential refuse to be disposed of at the county landfill. So if we switch contracts, do we still have to take it from residential refuse? See, yeah. That's why I'm a little leery on dictating that it goes directly there.
Well, I guess my only concern is the way that I read it, it sounds like the city is a party to the responsible party. So like, it sounds like we would then be responsible because we are part of the responsible county.
The county is our.
The county is a responsible unit when it comes to recycling statutes.
Well, right,
So we fall under whatever guidelines the county sets, whether we have a landfill or not, right? The landfill, pretend the landfill's not there, we would still fall underneath the counties as a responsible unit of them setting up the rules and guidelines.
Okay.
So basically, we can get rid of the 17 pages we had that says you gotta take this can and put it here and the lid off of this plastic and put it there and do this and this. All those are set up by the county. The only concern I have, like I said, is that we're saying that is mandated that certain materials be separated and removed from the residential refuse, right? That's part of state law and part of the regulations. But then to be disposed of at the county landfill, that wording right there is where I don't know. As long as it's disposed of in accordance with the law, I guess it doesn't really have to go to the county landfill? I don't know.
What wasn't this section 1 that if we changed,
Can we hear from?
No.
wasn't this a section that we couldn't, if we got a different hauler, that in 5 years that we might have to amend this and review it? Because we can't make it all specific to, we were trying to make it specific as much as we could to not one hauler versus the other, but if things are.
Right, so no matter who our hauler is, Adams County would still be the responsible unit
Right.
governing how we recycle and what we recycle. Like all of a sudden, if the state changes that we have to start saving X, Y, and Z, the county would adopt that, and then our residents would have to adopt that. Whether the county's picking it up, LRS is picking it up, whoever's picking it up. But say somebody just wants to recycle on their own, are they not allowed to take their recyclables somewhere? You know, they have to take them to the county? That's the wording of that, and I would have to,
So
I
what
would
do we
question
suggest it read?
at the landfill.
So that's what, I didn't realize that
Hauler's
whole
choice.
first section was in there. I thought we just had Adams County as the responsible unit, was
The
defined
whole
by.
in red.
Yeah, like that whole first, in accordance with the rules and regulations of state, we're stating that twice almost.
I think
That's
really
all
what we're
the
asking
contract has
is,
it.
has Adams County mandated that our recyclables be hauled to their landfill? Because that's kind of how that reads to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly.
But by stating that first thing, we're also stating it, that Adams County is a responsible unit. That's what, the second part of that.
Does Adams County have a rule where we have to have all of our recyclables deposited in their landfill?
I doubt it.
Can't imagine.
That's what it says, I
Yeah.
know, that's what it says.
Reading body language.
I will have to find out, that section is my notes of what I questioned on.
So I guess we're gonna go from here then.
The changes have to be between the first reading and the second reading, changes are made, and then those changes come to the second
Second
reading.
It's
And
not
then,
earth shattering.
Can those changes be made at council, or do they have to go back to planning?
no, they're made at council between the first and second readings.
Under the dwelling unit, under definitions, or no, not, sorry, 1 second. Under commercial unit, the home-based businesses, is there a way to define that a little further? Are we talking people that are, Etsy sellers, or are we they're talking people that are like actually running production stuff out of their houses? Or like the daycare centers and stuff like that?
When I think the intention was that those home-based businesses would be on a case-by-case basis as they presented themselves.
Because you're never going to be able to define them and have a list of them. You